Hey guys, Mike Missack here from Jeeps on the Run. Today we're actually not going to talk about a Wrangler. We're going to talk about the mid-engine Corvette. So if you follow me on Jeeps on the Run, you obviously know Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep brand has a Jeep Chrysler Dodge store, right? They also have a Chevy store. So I was fortunate enough to be able to take a C8 mid-engine Corvette for the weekend, and I'm just going to give you my thoughts. It's certainly much different than a Wrangler, obviously. But let's, maybe if you're not familiar with Corvettes, maybe you'll learn something. If you are familiar with Corvettes, maybe you'll learn something. So let's take a look. So obviously the trunk, well, there is a trunk here, if you will, up front. Some people call it a frunk. Let's get that opened up for you. You can do most everything you want from the key fob here. So let's unlock it, pop that. Not huge. Basically the design here is you can fit a carry-on suitcase, probably a little more, but you can at least fit a carry-on suitcase there, so there is storage there. Walk around to the back. If you're a golfer, you and your buddy can go golfing. You can fit 2 sets of golf clubs back here. Again, this vehicle really isn't for major road trips, but 2 people in their luggage, you're good to go. I just think it's a really, really sharp car. We could talk about the design of it all day. This one is a convertible, so the top does fold back, folds all into here. You can do it, it's one touch. You can do it from the remote as well as from inside the vehicle. It does happen rather quickly. It's probably something you could do at a stoplight if you tried. Pretty slick setup. When the convertible top is down, you do lose the camera in the rearview mirror. Not a big deal, but if you're wondering where it went when the top's down, you got to use your standard mirror, good old day style. So this one's got the Z51 package. I'm not an expert on these. I'm not going to pretend to be. So maybe you'll learn something. Maybe I'll learn something from this. So let's take a look inside. So now we're inside. I will say when you're sitting in these seats, the way they wrap around you, it is very, very comfortable. Surprisingly, this is a vehicle you probably could take on a long road trip and be comfortable. Very comfortable. This looks intimidating at first. It's really not. This top section is your driver stuff, so that's my heated seat, cooled seat. You can sync the AC, climate control from left to right. Here's your climate control stuff from here to here. And then this bottom section is the passenger. They can control their heated seat and their temperature. So this one does have the Z51 package, which includes an upgraded rear axle ratio, high performance tires, the rear spoiler, you got a limited slip differential, you get the performance brakes and suspension that we talked about in the back and front, obviously, upgraded cooling system, you get a front lift adjustable height, and you also get the magnetic ride control where you can select the ride control inside. These bucket seats are part of that package, as well as 19-inch wheels up front and 20-inch wheels in the back. You push that button there, the vehicle will actually raise to come up, raise the front end lip if you want to come over a driveway or a bump or something like that. This is also settable to where you can set it based on GPS location. So if there's a spot you always hit every day, maybe it's your own driveway, you can set that so as you approach that location, it will automatically raise the vehicle to accommodate for that terrain in the road, if you will. So sitting in it, sometimes I guess it could feel overwhelming as far as, there's a lot going on here. It's actually really user friendly. It's really intuitive. The display here is very much like a standard Chevy. You got your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You've got all your different things. You've got your camera, you've got your OnStar. The camera is accessible by pushing this here. This is really cool. It shows you your left corner, right corner. It also shows you the trajectory of where the vehicle is going to go. So if you're pulling into a parking spot, you can see that nose, if you're going to hit anything, so it's really well thought out. The backup camera, you've got your camera here. You can run into a normal mirror or a camera again. That feature there disappears when the top's down. So let's talk about the drive modes. So you can change your mode. So you got my mode, you've got sport, track, And, you know, these are custom, well, I say this called touring mode as well. So they're all a little different as to how the car handles. If you put this thing in track mode, you know, you'll see the display changes. It will also show you on here what the characteristics are. So, like right now it's in sport mode. It'll show you how the steering is going to handle, your suspension. Now, these are not customizable. Sport modes, these preset modes, you cannot change. Now, if you go to my mode, now you can change this. You can change this to however you want to change it. The brake feel, the engine sound. Now, also, if you click this Z, right? So Z mode, this is kind of a preset as well. So you can change this to what you want. So on the fly, you can toggle in and out of this preset Z mode, and it goes back to whatever mode you were preset. And now you go to Z mode. You can actually hear the exhaust change because the engine sound is set to higher. So again, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, so maybe I'll learn something too from you guys. Comment below, but that's that. So I've seen two. Now, I didn't have the opportunity to do this and didn't actually try it. It's not my vehicle. But if you are in track mode, let's go back to track mode, and you hit your traction control button twice, it says here you're on wet. Now, if you scroll through the wet, dry, sport, race 1, race 2, and then obviously you can turn it off. So think of that as your safety net. When you're driving, wet is your largest safety net, and all the way up to race 2 or even off is your smallest safety net as far as the computer helping you maintain control of the vehicle and keeping the traction under control. But that's how you can adjust that. Now, you know, I've driven the Hellcats and Demons and Trackhawks and all that kind of stuff, which they all have launch control. This has that as well. This is actually very easy to use. You put the car in drive, you hold the brake to the floor, and you hold the gas to the floor. What it will do is it will bring the vehicle up to 3,500 RPMs. Once it steadies out at 3,500 RPMs, you let off the brake, and you let it take you away. Now, on the Trackhawks and the other ones, you could adjust that RPM into what it would hold at. I don't think you can on this. I don't know for a fact. I don't know that that's a big deal. I don't know why you'd want to hold the brake torque at 500 or 1,500 RPMs anyway. Again, I haven't fooled with that setting. The other thing you can do is there's basically so now we're inside. I will say, when you're sitting in these seats, the way they wrap around you, it is very, very comfortable. Surprisingly, this is a vehicle you probably could take on a long road trip and be comfortable. This looks intimidating at first. It's really not. This top section is your driver stuff, so that's my heated seat, cooled seat. You can sync the AC and climate control from left to right. Here's your climate control stuff from here to here. And then this bottom section is the passenger. They can control their heated seat and their temperature, as well as the wheels and tires. Now, this does have a feature that you can lift the car up. So if you push this raise button, you'll watch. So the other thing I find kind of cool is here it gives you your PSI of your tires. Obviously, it gives you other, engine performance, parameters. But there where it says cold, so it actually tells you your tires are cold if you couldn't figure it out already. But this goes from cold, I think it goes to cool, then it goes to warm, no, then it goes to normal, and then I believe it goes to warm and to hot. It's fairly cool out this weekend when I had the opportunity to drive it. It's only 38 degrees right now, so I never saw it go anything beyond normal. But again, I believe it goes to warm and then hot. My understanding also is that this does withhold it does change some of the traction parameters. I think it activates limited slip, and it activates some other traction control and ABS parameters differently depending on the temperature of the tires. I cannot confirm that, but I did read that may be the case. So maybe someone can chime in if that's true or not. And as you travel through these pages, they're all set up a little differently. You know, one shows G-force. Some of these are customizable to a little bit too. You know, as you put it in tour mode, you can hear the engine change. And then my mode obviously is whatever you have preset here. You can change that as well. So there's a weather mode. I drove that was raining for 2 of the days I had it. I was actually fairly surprised on how well this handled in wet weather. You just put it in the weather mode, and it kind of pulls the reins back on all the performance of it. So it becomes a little more drivable in the wet weather. So the other thing this car has is burnout mode. So if you put this in drive, and again, I'm holding my phone, but if you hold both paddles back, it'll actually disengage the clutches in the transmission, and you'll see the D start to blink. You can hold the paddles back, you can lay on the throttle, it's in drive, and the vehicle won't go anywhere. Now, again, I didn't try this, but my understanding is as soon as you let off the 2 paddles, the transmission and computer will slowly basically dump the clutch and allow you to give that burnout. That is basically to warm your tires. That is not designed to give you that 0 to 60, because obviously this is designed to lose the traction, warm up the tires. The launch control, which is putting it in drive and stabbing the brake. Now, I believe you have to be in track mode for that to work. I don't think that works in the other modes, but you hit the brake to the floor, hold the gas to the floor, and it will steady the RPMs at 3,500, and it will let you go. So the other thing this has, it has a mode where you can actually record your track. You want to review your race, or you want to review at what point, maybe at what RPMs were and what your G's were. They all kind of offer a different thing. You know, this one will show you 0 to 60, your timers and stuff like that. This one will show you like your G-force at what RPMs. So they're all geared towards different things. And this one just pretty much just shows you your ride if you want to go back and watch it. So it's all saved on an SD card, but kind of cool. Little different setup. So you can save your tracks in here. Again, I'm not thoroughly versed in it, but nonetheless, it's pretty cool. So your recordings, again, if you had an SD card in here, and you can save your, 1080. Obviously, the more quality, the more space it's going to take, but it'll record the audio. I mean, it's incredible. So I've had the opportunity to drive this as well as Trackhawks, SRT Durangos, Hellcat Durangos, Hellcat Chargers and Challengers. They all offer something a little different for sure. This one I think was the most fun. You know, this one it really gives you that experience. I think, the Dodge vehicles are incredibly fun as well. More maybe of a straight line vehicle than the Corvette. But for the money, I think on a vehicle like this, I think Chevy killed it. So if you're looking for one, hit up Ray Chevrolet in Box Lake. So thanks, Ray, from Ray Chevrolet in Box Lake, for letting me take this out for the weekend. Greatly appreciate it. It's all washed up. She's going back home. It is for sale. It's a used one with a couple thousand miles on it, but it's a gorgeous vehicle, tons of fun. The convertible is fun. And don't forget, back there, you can win that 2021 Jeep JL for $20 raffle ticket, jeepsontherun.com. The Ray Auto Group has been awesome to Jeeps on the Run. What else do you guys drive? Maybe not everyone drives a Jeep here, so comment below. What's your, maybe what else is in your garage? As always, follow us on Jeeps on the Run on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe. We'll see you guys.